Hey guys, it's BlockchainBrad, and today we're talking with someone a little different. You see me in a t-shirt rocking it, but the real person here, the rock star, is Didi. He's someone that has really put his money where his mouth is, and he's decided to do something that is simply different to the status quo. Didi, thank you so much, mate, for being on the channel, and thanks for allowing me to wear a t-shirt for once.
Please do so. You see, I'm wearing a Bitcoin t-shirt as well.
Yeah, mine's the next big coin.
Yeah.
But mate, on a serious note, thank you so much for your time. You're very well known, very respected for doing something, as I said, that goes against the grain of most, most thinkers in the world. In fact, when it comes to following what others have set forth in the path of life, you have done something completely different. Tell us a bit about you, Didi, and what started you on this journey, this worldwide whirlwind venture that you're now in.
Yeah, I was a pretty normal guy, did school and college, and started work for a boss. I only worked like 3 months for a boss because that was nothing for me. So I quickly decided I need to become an entrepreneur. Right. So I started my own business at that time, and this grew, and I started my second business, and I took a management job in Malta as well. So from a normal guy, loving football and everything, I switched to becoming a workaholic, working 100 hours a week, and doing everything to become this very rich, materialistic guy.
Really? So because you don't look like that. You don't look like that sort of person. You look like you're someone who's pretty down to earth and chilled. So were you a different person back then?
Yeah, of course, man. I was totally different, man. I was this normal guy, and but then my mother died when she was 48 years old, and this was my first life lesson. And then I was like 24 at that point. I was already an entrepreneur at that point, but that woke me up a little bit. And instead of like grieving or facing the truth of pain and all those things, I threw all my passion in work. I became this workaholic to suppress my feelings about losing my mother. And this took for like 12 years, and this is how I built up like 3 companies. And in that time I started mining Bitcoins as well. So that was 2013. I started mining. And there was a guy who told me, Didi, have you ever heard about Bitcoin? And I was like, no, never heard about it. Tell me. And he was like, man, it's changing the world. It's a revolution. It's going to change the monetary system. And you can become a millionaire out of it. So and at that point in my life, I was still this very materialistic guy. I wanted to be a millionaire, So I invested in mining rigs. I started building those mining rigs and started mining Bitcoin and Dogecoin at that point. When Bitcoin crashed from 1,200 to 200, we switched mining to Dogecoin because it was not
as profitable in the long term.
Yeah, of course. And then in the end of 2014, I will keep it a little bit short. Then my father called me in 2014. I was driving my car, and he asked me, Didi, is everything okay? I said, yeah, okay. And your dad? Yeah. Are you sitting down? I said, yeah, I'm sitting. And then he told me, Didi, I just came from the hospital. I have 1 more year to live. I have cancer, and it won't take more than 1 year. So that was the second time in my life, I was struck by something that I couldn't control. I can control all my businesses, but this I couldn't control. So I drove to my father, it was very emotional. And then, I quickly decided, let's hire a manager, put him in my company, and just spend 2015 with my family, my father, as much as possible time. The last time Christmas, the last time Easter, all those things you want to do with your father. That was my daughter running through.
That's cool. That's the way to be. You're obviously very real now, so I appreciate that you haven't changed your life to do this video.
No. That opened my eyes again. And at that point, I realized, man, I have been just running the hamster wheel, just been working to get very rich. And man, I couldn't save my father with money. And my father was always a football player, a professional one, and afterwards a professional coach. So he always showed me that you need to live, and you need to do your passion, do something you like to do. And the company I was running was just there to fulfill my needs in material needs.
Right.
So I started traveling with my family.
Wow. So you
And
just started to hit the road.
yeah, we just said I needed to reset because I after the funeral and this inheritance and all that, you get a lot of situations then, and
Mm.
I got a burnout, and then I told my wife I'm not going to continue this life. And then I told my wife, let's take a break, let's go and travel for 3 months. And we started traveling for 3 months, and that ended up being 9 months. And during this trip, I just kept meeting people that were talking to me. Hey, have you heard about Bitcoin? Do you know Bitcoin? And I was like, man, I don't want to talk about Bitcoin right now. I'm like emotional. I just want to be with my family.
Got ya.
But yeah, it kept pursuing me. And then in the end, in Bali, my friend called me and he's like, Didi, do you still have your Bitcoins and your Dogecoins? I said, yeah, I still have them. I don't know where, at home. He said, like, they are going up, man. They are going up hugely. And I'm like, wow, is it hugely? How do you mean? I said, yeah, they are jumping. I said, yeah. Check them out. I said, yeah, I'm on the beach now. I'm enjoying my Bacardi Coke. My kids were doing the handstand everywhere in Bali, and the sunset was beautiful. So I was like, no, at the moment, not, man. And then at the evening, I watched it, and I checked my coins, and then I saw that they were like going up. Even Dogecoin went skyrocketed, and that I could pay my whole trip and everything of those coins, and still had profit.
Right.
That was a sign for me. That was a sign. Okay, the revolution is starting, and people are starting to understand what Bitcoin is going to do, and crypto and blockchain for the world. And maybe it's a good time to go all in. And then I walked up to my wife and I asked her, "Do you think it's a good idea that we go all in?" And so she asked me, "What is all in?" I said, "All in. We sell our house, we sell our cars, we sell everything we have. We have been very happy the last 9 months, just traveling with 2 backpacks, no luxury at all. We sell the toys, clothes, everything."
Wow.
So, Didi, man, this is a little bit lot. But and then I told her, man, we need to teach our children that they can be very happy without material stuff.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, bro, as well, because I have children as well. And that's why I was interested in your story. It wasn't just, for those people who might be used to my content, I'm typically trying to do deep research in startups that are trying to essentially do things either for enterprise reasons or for decentralization. But at the end of the day, the narrative that you present to the world really is key about living. Living in the moment and making sure that you don't miss the mark. And sometimes even in crypto, you would know this as well, Didi, that some people can get caught up in the pursuit for money, even inside our ecosystem that we're part of. So it's almost ironic in a sense, because a lot of the people who followed, the narrative of Bitcoin, not everyone was part of the pursuit for what it really stands for, some of the ideals. Some were really, truly about this strong focus on money. So how did you feel with that as well?
Yeah, this is the thing is, the most of people start in crypto because of the money, because of the Lamborghini, because of the moon, because of what else they.
The same reason why you were there for doing your other businesses, probably.
Yeah, and the same reason why I started in Bitcoin a little bit in 2013. But then you get to educate yourself in this business, and then you get to understand what. If you get older, you get to understand the monetary system, and you get to understand the world, and you get to understand how everything works, and then it becomes more of a revolution instead of a money thing. So for us, this was logical because we had everything, and we just wanted to change life to show our kids, man, you can be happy without 2 iPads, 3 iPhones, a quad, a motor. You can be happy with nothing, just traveling with 2 backpacks.
Right.
And this was why my wife said, let's do it. And that is why when I sold my Jeep Cherokee, for example, I sold my Audi Cabriolet, my Dragstar, and I sold them during our trip and bought Bitcoins. And then we flew home and we sold our house for Bitcoins.
Amazing.
And then this house was sold in 2 weeks, partly Bitcoins, partly money. And the money was...
Maybe it was the law of attraction. There was all these things aligning for you to get to know Bitcoin at the time, it sounds like, Didi. So once you did this, what was the reaction like to all of your family and friends? I would imagine it would have been quite a moment of shock for them, for you to given your story and how different you were.
Yeah, it was a shock. It was a huge shock. In their opinion, I succeeded in life. I was on top of the hill. Most of my family, nephews, brother, sister looked up to me as a very good entrepreneur who had everything he had. and he is choosing to be homeless and traveling the world with something digital, but nobody understands. So the
Right.
shock was huge. People were like, "What are you doing? You're sick in your head because you lost your father. You're crazy, Didi. This is not you. You know,
Yeah.
you're not going to build a sandcastle with your children on the street, man. You're the guy that hangs up in those expensive clubs with the Belvedere bottles and all that stuff. You're not the type to do this live." And
It sounds
but
like you almost have an epiphany, through those adversities. And in a sense, it's kind of woke you up to living, really living, as I was saying. And now it seems like you're traveling well with your family. It seems like you've never been happier. And again, the irony is that you weren't trying to accrue wealth by, doing the Bitcoin. I think that's the big thing I think people perhaps don't know about you, is that kind of benevolent part.
Yeah.
You're not interested in trying to accrue more material wealth, yet you have, strong investment and interest in Bitcoin.
Yeah, this is the thing what people don't understand. Yeah? People don't understand that if somebody chooses for a minimalistic lifestyle, this doesn't mean this guy wants to be poor. Again, we don't care if Bitcoin goes up. Of course, we will be happy if Bitcoin goes up. And if Bitcoin goes down, we will still be happy, because I've been traveling 3 years with my family already.
So it's been 3 years. Wow. So how many countries? Your kids must have a very interesting passport.
Yeah, we had to change once or twice because the pages were full.
Wow. It must be
Yeah,
quite interesting too, because they get to see all kinds of cultures. That's the true riches, I suppose, that you're giving them, is the experiences of life.
yeah, because we as a family, of my wife and I, that's why we took our kids out of school as well.
Mm-hmm.
We think the schools are preparing the kids for the past and not for the future, and we think the world should start accepting each other's cultures and a little bit more.
Right.
All the wars that are there are just because of religion or cultures differences, and then we want to show our kids that all those people are not different.
Right.
They are different, but they are not different as a human. They are just human beings.
And what better way to do it, Didi, than actually go to these places, because that's the key, is again having that frontline experience to actually be consumed and subsumed by those people and culture. Yeah. And obviously it's had a really profound effect on your whole family. How have the kids taken it, traveling with, and were they affronted having to leave school, or were they excited with you on the journey?
No, of course they are always excited. If you ask the kids, you don't want to go to school, then it's always happy at first, of course. And in the beginning, the kids don't think about the social aspects. They just think about, oh man, I don't need to go to do homework and holiday, and
Yeah.
But again, as a family, we made a huge shift, and this is not easy, and it's also not easy for the kids always, but we managed to do it pretty good. We homeschooling them a little bit, and we just teach them everything practically, and they just enjoy life. We want to teach them to just enjoy life. Stay this, when you're a kid, you don't think about the future. You just think about today, maybe tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And we want to teach them to keep this.
Well, I'm really glad we caught up, because obviously I spend a lot of time around the whole influencer space. I try to also engage in deep research with the academics and the team members of these interesting outfits of startups that are coming to the fore now. You see them for different motivations. Some want to really revolutionize platforms. Some want to bring a currency to the fore. But what I do notice is, having done this for a while now, is still underneath everything, almost every day, there's this strong emphasis on money, strong emphasis on value, obviously because they're currency. So it's really refreshing to talk to someone who really isn't so focused on the money aspect and the benefit of that for themselves. So I want to bring you back for a sec to how your life is played out with regard to the changes you've seen in the last few years. Because when you first started, obviously you saw a lot of the hype build of Bitcoin. And obviously you're aware of the narrative of narrative, the fact that stories can really build value as opposed to the technology at the time. So what are your thoughts now as we come into 2019, in the sense that a lot has changed since the beginning of Bitcoin. There's now businesses trying to come on board. There's top-down parties getting involved. It's quite convoluted, and not all the interests align with the idea of helping their fellow man.
No, this is exactly this is exactly why we as a family decided to take this Bitcoin family, brand.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't choose to become this Bitcoin family. This was
Okay.
like, we were born to this Bitcoin family because our house was sold for Bitcoins. We came to the media and they just said, "You are the Bitcoin family." And then we as a family sat together and like, do we want this? No, man, we just want to be on the beach, chilling and have a nice life and surfing, whatever.
So you're chilling, not shilling. I like that.
Yeah. But then, I'm just 40, and then this thing in your head starts, and this entrepreneurship starts running again, and then it's like, but you're giving a platform now, and you can help a lot of people in the world if you use this platform. And then we as a family just decided, let's take this Bitcoin family thing, which they call us,
Yep.
create a sort of platform, or try to create a platform out of it, and then just make a little bit profit with this. And this profit we share with the poor people. So, for example, an orphanage in India, they accept crypto, so we just make a profit with the affiliate links and all those things, selling our book, selling our crypto course online. And then we send these profits to all those directly through crypto and blockchain to those orphanages in India. And then we get happy, And
That's awesome. So you really are paying it forward in that sense. You're not trying to just pull the wealth in. And that's the cool thing is it doesn't, you're spreading the flow of the currency.
This is what we want. This is why we have been traveling for 2.5 years. We have visited more than 50 countries, and we are in every country. I think I have more than 300 hours of video material from interviews with businesses in crypto, with people in crypto, how ATM machine works. But I'm too lazy to edit all those videos, and I'm not good at the editing. So
That's all right. We'll do that for you, Didi. I mean, you're busy on the beach.
No, I'm searching for help in this because we have so much footage, and we just want to spread the word, educate people, and we just want to, share the wealth.
Absolutely, bro. And it's great that you're a feel-good story. I really mean that because obviously you're happy. And that's what I think we don't see enough of. We see a lot of people wrecked, as they say, from all the bullshit that happened last year. So what do you want to say to those people, who really, unfortunately were wrecked because of the greed of those early entrants who many of them actually knew that the system that we call the ICO was flawed because of all the different tiers, just like Wall Street and all of the histories of centralized control before. It was really quite similar. So what would you say to all those people who are struggling now because they had that faith?
I feel sorry for all those people because I didn't expect Bitcoin to drop this low as well. I thought it would bounce off 6K as well. And, I knew it was going to drop because if you just see green candles, then there needs to come a red candle somewhere.
Yeah.
But this doesn't mean that Bitcoin will crash or Ethereum or all those coins. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, so I believe Bitcoin will be much higher than 20K in a few years' times.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sell, you lose. I think regulations need to be there, of course, for those ICOs and everything, which are popping up all last year everywhere. And this is good.
Yep.
Somebody got burned. But again, we learn of this. And the same happened in the 90s with the internet, the scams and everything. So this is not bad. But the only advice I can give people is like, one, just play with the money you can afford to lose. And two, if you lose, then just understand that this doesn't mean anything. What would be more important to you? To wake up tomorrow morning, your wecker, your alarm goes, you wake up at 8, and what is more important? That Bitcoin went up $1,000 or that you're still alive?
Right. So what would you do?
The most important part is that you're still alive. And this is what people need to understand.
Well, with all of your knowledge now, your life knowledge and wisdom, let's say it did, hypothetically, it's not, we both sense that that's not going to be the outcome. Certainly not in the, given the support that BTC does have. But let's say, for example, that things didn't go to plan and you'd gone all in. From what I'm hearing from you, it wouldn't really faze you. You're the kind of person who would just pick yourself up by your bootstraps and just move on and maintain that happy sort of mindset that you've really worked to master.
In my opinion, life it needs to be an adventure. It doesn't need to be a hamster wheel, you know. It's an adventure, and you choose a road, and you just travel or you walk this road, and at the end there is always this option to turn left or right, and then you choose to turn left. But at the end of this road you chose, there's again the option of left and right. So you can always make a new choice, you know. This adventure, maybe Bitcoin goes to zero. And then I have this beautiful Bitcoin on my arm. Maybe then it's the B of bankrupt, you know? I don't know. And if it is the B of bankrupt, then a new adventure in life will pop up again.
Right.
You know?
So it's the fearlessness that I think is what everyone's inspired by when they hear about your story. Because had you have let fear dictate, you wouldn't have sold your house. You wouldn't be with your kids now in beautiful parts of the world. You know, you'd be stuck in an office with your Audi and unhappy. So I think that's the biggest message. That's why I wanted to reach out to you, Didi, is to really remind people why we're here. We're a collective of people. I mean, it's the best parts of my day in crypto are always connecting with good people. It's never actually about, you know, whether or not there's a prospective investment. Yet we still see the discussions are rampant throughout about price action and that sort of thing. So hopefully, as things regulation comes in, we see more of this camaraderie emerge and the less tribalism. That's what I'm really hoping for, because it is potentially there for us to realize that we can use the technology to better connect, to benefit people more. Like you said, that you're working with orphanages. That wouldn't be possible, perhaps, you know, right now as easily and seamlessly if it wasn't for crypto. You know, so that all those possibilities in developing countries is so exciting as well, given that you can give more of your own value if you have more. And perhaps, you know, perhaps in your case, that's what you've been able to do. But I wanted to talk to you also about the future with regard to what people call altcoins. You know, all kinds of startups emerging. Do you ever look at those, or are you solely just wholly in the world of BTC with your money?
No, of course. I started day trading after we went all in, and that because of day trading, I gained 15 kilos. And my wife told me, "Man, look in the mirror. This is not healthy anymore." You know, I was sleeping 4 hours a day, I think, and so now I'm like more trading in a weekly weekly style, or like monthly swing trading a little bit. So yeah, you know, our life is 24/7 crypto. So I read, I talk on conferences, I meet people, I travel everywhere to interview people. So I want to know everything in crypto. So yes, I'm interested in alts as well. Right. But I also know, and I also, you know, I think Bitcoin is in my opinion is still the best decentral, maybe the only really decentral currency out there. And yeah, there are very good alts. Ethereum does his best of providing some kind of a new internet where you can build your dApps on, yeah? And Litecoin is trying to make faster transactions. But there are too many coins that want to make faster transactions now, and this is what in the mainstream they are called shit coins. Right. I will not fast or quick call a coin a shit coin, because they are doing their best to improve the blockchain. But I don't think they will survive. I do think Bitcoin will go maybe to 2K now this year. And I think when Bitcoin will go to 2K, I think a lot of those alts, they won't manage to survive.
Is that because of the pegging aspect? Because so many of them are pegged to the value of BTC and ETH?
No, that plus the people need to be educated. You know, a lot of kids and young people, millennials, they stepped into this world to become rich, filthy rich. Right. And if they start to agree the values of Bitcoin are totally different than the values of altcoins, and if they understand that really Bitcoin is the only one that still hasn't changed its core blockchain, and still hasn't been down 1 second in the last 9 years, and still is decentral and no spokesman, and you know, and if they understand this, and that a lot of coins are really scams, then I think at the end people will change their currency again to Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs to get some more volume as well.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because, you know, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you was really just to hear your narrative. So, and your story. I don't want to, you know, comment on my own personal view of any of them, because it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's about you getting to share your story of your journey. But I wanted to ask you, you know, given all of the things that BT's done for the world and bring to the fore the possibility of something different. Do you see anything else in the future also being like that? Or in the terms of, for example, let's say the enterprise get involved and they want to start utilizing it to make their businesses much more efficient. Is that a bad thing, do you think, though? Or can blockchain itself be beneficial in other domains, not just in the currency?
Yeah, of course. I think blockchain is one of the biggest, the biggest revolutions out there. I think it's going to minimize the internet evolution we had. Just understand the thing what we are doing now, doing this call.
Right.
This is all possible because of internet. My iPhone is possible of the internet.
Exactly.
The internet was the technology, and the products were Google, Amazon, Zoom, Apple. These are all products that were made possible because of the internet. But the internet has had its best time as well, I think. And I think blockchain is going to replace this internet decade. And we are going slowly in this blockchain decade, where blockchain will make the world change in a way we can't even predict right now,
Exactly. Well, you know what?
This is huge.
You're certainly inspiring a lot of people. And I noticed a friend of mine, Nye, was recently talking to you. He's well known in the space of bringing cool to the blockchain and to crypto. It's been an honor speaking with you because, again, it's a wake-up call for all of us to maintain our happiness, make sure that that's the goal of everything that we do, is to try and maximize the joy in our lives. You're doing it. You're proving you can even do it and still be profitable and still make money on BTC and still understand what is the imperatives of blockchain and beyond. So thank you really for enlightening us, for showing us, everything that you stand for, and I appreciate your transparency and openness about it as well, Didi. So it's been cool.
The pleasure is mine. What I said, we do everything to help blockchain and crypto, and I just want to go with mainstream. And then if I can do a small contribution to this as a family, because of having this Bitcoin label family thing, we will do it. I think more people should do it. People need to understand that they are living we are living in a time of an evolutionary something, which is changing our life in a huge way. We could also be living in a times of war, but we have this beautiful thing we are going through in our, at our age, you only have this once in your life,
Exactly, bro. And you know what? You never know, Didi. You might see me in a tent with my 3 kids and wife, and I'll just have a book that's authored by you, and I'll be wondering, how the hell did I end up here? But I'm happy. So, mate, on that note, I really want to thank you. You have inspired me personally with your fearlessness and your confidence to really step up and do something that you believe in. It's a good story. I think more people should know about it. And hopefully, mate, we can catch up, if that's cool, some other time in the future, just to see how you're progressing, what country you're in, whether you're in Iceland or whether you're in Amsterdam or somewhere between. It's going to be fun. And your kids obviously benefiting from as well, and your wife. Wow. To be someone beside you, supporting you. She's a gem. Look after her and never let her go, mate. And,
I was lucky.
You were lucky. And I wish you all the very best, and stay happy, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you. And it would be amazing if people join our, YouTube channel and everything, because the more followers we get, the more money we can give to the poor people. So
absolutely. So for all those who want to know more, I'll make sure that all the Didi's links are below, because it does matter. The fact that he's giving out to the people, that's what we all want to do, is support the benevolence, support that the fact that BTC can be a B for better, B for benevolence, and essentially B for be yourself, be real. So Didi, you're leading the way with that. That tattoo is something that hopefully means something for the rest of your life, as a reminder that you made the right decision. But let's catch up and see how that sticks in a couple of months, mate, and maybe even in years to come as well.
Okay, man. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Didi.